gone, I lie in bed thinking, what have I lost?
I've got this friend called Donna Noble. I had to wipe her memory to save her life. No! If she remembers me, she will die. So what happens next? The spaceship crashes right in front of her. It's like she's drawing us in.
What the hell? We've got a bloody Martian in the shed! Don't know. Me.
Oh, here we go again. I don't believe in destiny, but if destiny exists, then it is heading for Donna Noble. And I've got a memory. After a very long time, something's coming back.
Who are they?
Monsters.
There's something so bad the TARDIS ran away.
Yes.
Then we go and kick its ass!
Kate Lethbridge Stewart! What do we do this time, Doctor? How do we fight the human race?
Something entered this world.
Oh, but he is recognizing me. Who is he?
The one who waits.
Open fire! Why does it have to be this? Your fight is with me!
I don't know if I can save your life this time.
Worldwide premiere.
Fuck yeah.
Every time, it doesn't matter. I get chills every time I've watched this thing like 60 times already.
I've watched the trailer multiple times. I gotta say, okay, as far as being, I guess I'm a Whovian, as they call them. You guys don't know this about me on my channel. I haven't talked about Doctor Who in like 3 years. It's because it's been very depressing. Now, that doesn't mean I haven't watched the series. I watched all 3 of them. I watched Chibnall, that fucking hack, destroy my all-time favorite show. And so I am super excited to report we have, quite possibly, if you're a Who fan, it's been debated amongst the fandom, but like if you look at a ranking, David Tennant is always near number 1 or number 2. Some people like if you put the older doctors in there, they'll go back. But for me, if we're just doing new run and we do it out of Capaldi and Tennant and Matt Smith and all of them, Eccleston, who had one run, but he did have some good episodes. A lot of times you will get Tennant as like 1 or 2. It depends on what people like. Couldn't give a flying fuck, but drop the like. Thank you, Popcon. I know not everyone's a Who fan, but this is a kind of special franchise for me because I have been a fan of Star Trek, but I feel like Doctor Who has a bit of mystery. It spawned one of my all-time favorite shows and probably one of my all-time favorite characters, Jason Bowerman's Captain Harkness from Torchwood, who, if you guys,
I think his name's John.
Or John Bowerman. There we go. Sorry, I've been drinking a little bit, but this drink is not because I'm depressed for once. This is because I'm excited. I've been happy. So first, I want to get the elephant out of the room. I know people were on the fence about a new Who pick, and Ngueda, I forget. I can't pronounce his last name.
Shurikawa?
Yes, Huikawa. Yes. If you guys don't know, because I know a lot of people looked at the pick and was like, "Who the fuck is him?" There's a great show on Netflix called Sex Education. If you ever have a chance, me and Erica go back through watching the rest of it. But he is one of the best characters in that show. He's a great comedian. He's a great British actor. He is gay. That's actually part of his character in Sex Education, but it's so well written and he's so likable that I was excited because I think he has the comedic timing needed in Doctor Who to
Yes.
make good jokes, but he can also play serious roles as well too. So all across the board, great picks
I've
for the
never
next
actually
Doctor.
seen him. I've never seen Sex Ed. I've never actually seen this guy. But let me tell you, when I first saw, like, did they release a trailer? I don't think they released a trailer yet. But when they released, like, the photos and he was talking about it and all this stuff, I was like, oh my God, that's the Doctor. For sure, that's the Doctor. Because the way he, like, presents himself, he's very, like, I don't know. I'm super, super excited. I'm super excited. And I'm super excited about the bestie angle because literally the Dr. Donna.
Yeah.
The Dr. Donna is my favorite. I love the puns. Don't get me wrong. That's my favorite family. I love River as his wife, but the Dr. Donna. The Dr. Donna.
And something I didn't even know, my boy, if you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan of the show what was that fucking show? God damn it. I've had it shopping all day with Bitchy because it's her birthday weekend, so I'm sorry if I'm a little flustered here, but the show with Neil Patrick Harris starred in where he didn't star in, but How I Met Your Mother. Neil Patrick Harris played a straight
Yeah.
he played a
I'm
straight
so
if you guys
excited.
don't know, he's gay. He's played a straight womanistic piece of shit on that show. The best that I've ever fucking seen. I love Neil Patrick Harris. I loved him in Harold and Kumar. And I think as an old school, like he's if you guys don't know who he's playing the Toy Master, I believe. He's a very old
Celestial Toymaker.
Yeah, it's a very deep cut for Who fans. He was vanquished back in the old series, so it's very interesting. And there is a plot thread going through where normally when the Doctor regenerates, it's a different body, it's a different persona. It's never the same Doctor twice. I think it's 60 years he's never come back as the same incarnation. So there's two very big questions going on with this starting. Is why is David Tennant's Doctor's back with all of his memories, everything else? Because when the Doctor reincarnates, he does not remember his past lives. It's kind of drip fed until he reincarnates again, and then remembers everything when he's about to go into the next body. So it's interesting because he came back knowing everything, and now Neil Patrick Harris's character is in who is supposed to be like banished somewhere. So this raises a whole bunch of questions of why David Tennant's Doctor specifically reincarnated for this particular threat. So there's a lot of different cool directions. If you guys don't know, they got in my mind. I'm just gonna say it. Russell T Davies was the best run on the Who show. He's got the best episodes of all time. I mean, of all time. Like, if you look, there's like at least 6 episodes he wrote that fans rate the best Doctor Who episodes of all time. So this is like a hard reset. And before we get going, because I'm absolutely stoked to talk about this, let me see who we got in the chat. We have Papa Cotton just came to drop a like. Thank you. Stone Cold Jeremy, what's up? Hope you're a Who fan. We're talking Doc Who. We got Crummel. What's up, Crummel? Yeah, it's super it's a super exciting time. But before I get to the excitement, I know you don't know much about the series I'm going to talk about. I think though you might have caught up with the highlights.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the worst run and why it's important for them to knock this out of the park. And from the clips I showed, they're putting a lot more money into this special.
Disney. They got that Disney money.
Than they have in the past 3. BBC really cut the funding, and I want to say that hurt Chibnall, but he can't fucking write either. But you could tell by the last couple of specials, the budget was hurting. It was hurting bad. It's the worst you've seen, and you can have bad monsters or whatever. Star Trek did it for years. Other shows have, but the stories aren't good either. So they
Right.
don't have the special effects to reel people in, and the stories were shit. So I want to take this back to the dark days for a second, season 11, and I had tons of fight. And now I have come to soften my position on Jodie Whittaker because I've seen her act in other stuff, and I don't think necessarily she was the issue. I think pushing the agenda, which was very clear, there were even some blatantly motivated. There was one episode called Spyfall with like someone who was supposed to be like Trump, who was for guns for no reason. And if you guys know the new Doctor, she's anti-gun. It was the worst ideas mixed with the most bland acting. So the the sonic screwdriver, I did not like that. I did not. I did not. That was hers, right? It was the sonic screwdriver, or who had the sonic screwdriver?
They always have a sonic screwdriver.
Okay, I don't.
Every time.
Yeah, her version was the one I didn't like. It was very, and it was like a. It was like in this run, they used it as a MacGuffin a lot of times. She would just like instantly solve something with the screwdriver. Like, it was bad. It got bad. So there is a couple of issues I wanted to talk about that kind of carry over that I'm hoping Russell T Davies is going to completely retcon. But we found out the origins in one of the most controversial episodes ever aired. It's like Last Jedi bad, called The Timeless Child, which fucked all of Doctor Who lore. Because if you guys know, the mystery is the Doctor reincarnates. We don't know exactly who he is, just he's a Time Lord. He stole a TARDIS and decided to go on wacky adventures to fix shit that they would fuck with. That's his whole thing.
That's my husband. Hi, honey. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for correcting me.
Good to see you here. But yeah, see, I knew I was right. They all don't have the screwdriver. I know there was a season Tennant had something different, but I forgot which series it was.
Flypaper.
But yes, I really The Timeless Child. Let's talk about it. Most horrible episode ever. Broke lore and canon. And so the premise was the Doctor was not only always a woman doctor, but a black woman doctor. They went for all the check boxes, basically, which didn't make fucking sense to lore, because the first Doctor in, like, the very first Doctor Who black and white days was established as I'm just going to say it, the typical white male. I guess this fucking bugged BBC and all the higher ups, so they tried to rewrite the history, and it did not go over well. And
the thing that bothers me, side note with this, it could have been so cool if they would have done this the right way. It could have been so fucking cool. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think trying to revise the history was a poor choice. Like, you could have, there's so much backstory that's unanswered. You could have placed Jodie Whittaker's Doctor connecting with the other ones, even if you want to go that route and just say she's a separate Time Lord or something like that, or this is a rare incarnation or something. They could have played it 150 different ways than what they did. And what they wind up doing is, one, making the Time Lord look like assholes, which they are, but there's always kind of a reason for what they do. Whereas this, and even in their own story, they seem just cruel, because this lady literally kills this child repeatedly to harness the power of regeneration and then pass it along genetically to every other Time Lord. And it just kind of makes it seem like, oh, JD Dave says, I gotta go, but I can watch later. Okay, check us out later. But it kind of makes like all of the Time Lords are bad guys, which then it takes away from the Time Lords for me, because for me, they are neither good nor bad. They're just kind of these beings that steer things in different directions. You know, like otherworldly beings keeping shit balanced, and that's where the Master comes in, is the epitome of chaos, and he throws shit out of whack.
Oh my god, I love the Master.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about too. The Master for series 11, 12, and 13 was god awful. Who is that fucking actor? He was fucking the worst incarnation of the Master.
Masha something.
Oh my god. He was the absolute worst. He came off like a child when he got mad. Like, I didn't feel a threat. Like, the Master, every other time he's appeared, he's kind of like this stoic. He's like the Doctor, and he's smart, and they have like a little head-to-head. And
I always thought they were like a mirror. Like, you have the Master, then you have the Doctor, and they just kind of do this. Is kind of what I felt. I've always felt their relationship was, and that they love each other so much, but they also hate each other so much.
well, for me, I see them as like two sides of the same coin, right?
Yeah.
Like, because essentially the Master does want to interfere with stuff to help humanity out, much like the Doctor does, but his views are warped, and he's more of the end of he will do anything, where the Doctor kind of has a line. Like, the Doctor has sacrificed people and stuff like that and let people die, but he does have kind of a moral line where, for the most part, he'll put the need of humanity over others, where the Master will literally wipe everything out, and in his mind he's helping reset and helping humanity by going that extra mile. So like they do kind of have parallel perspectives, but the Master has always been terrifying too, and in this series not so much. The companions, there was a big deal, right? This series had the most companions. None of them had any fucking personality except for Graham. Graham was the only fucking good companion. And that's because he told the jokes. And that was it. Like, and some of his jokes were a hit or miss, but Graham was the best one out of all of them. The other two, especially fucking Yaz, cannot stand Yaz. Worst fucking companion ever. And she could have worked, but once again, Chibnall's writing is very dull, very drab. He treats his audience like a fucking idiot. Like, have you watched the new episodes? He literally explains shit. All right, if you just watched the first episode, right? Literally, characters will explain stuff to you that happened 5 minutes ago, like you weren't watching the show. And this is my problem with Chibnall. I feel like he's a narcissistic prick because he feels his writing is so next level that we're so stupid we won't literally remember what just happened. So they're like, they'll be doing a scene, they're like, oh, remember when the thing just happened? Yeah, now we've got to get this doohickey so that we could do this thing. And it's like, why are you telling me what you're going to do? Like, it ruins it, because now you're telling me where you're going to go and the thing you got to get and how you're going to get it, and then it happens exactly how they narrate it, and it's, oh my god, he's just the worst. So Chibnall's like writing was very poor. The BBC went on a kick of trying to bring politics into everything, and you created a storm for, like, the ratings dropped huge. This used to be like millions, like, whether you like Doctor Who or not, millions of people, big conventions, and Chibnall has single-handedly done what the Master couldn't do. And has almost destroyed the Doctor.
I think my favorite Master was Missy. I really liked Missy. She was phenomenal.
She was really good.
And then, hi LP.
Hey, love it, bye.
And I'm not gonna lie, my husband and I were watching the original series.
Oh Lord, yeah, that's a deep.
It's a huge commitment that we have not been very well at keeping. And so we're about halfway through number 4. What's his name?
Oh God.
What is his name? Why can't I remember his name? Anyway, the 4th Doctor and the original Master, I really enjoyed. I literally, when I saw him and the 3rd Doctor, I was like, oh my gosh, what is his name? John Pertwee was the third one.
Let me see. I can look it up. Keep talking.
Anyway, my husband's gonna be like, why don't you remember? What the hell is his name? Anyway, so we got about halfway through there, and I really enjoyed the original Master. I really thought that his need for playfulness and chaos was just beautiful.
Tom Baker.
What? Tom Baker, yeah. Well, what I mean, honey, is we stopped watching it and we have not picked it up a year ago. Anyway.
Oh, Lemon Pie says this stream is about Horton Hears a Who finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite Doctor, obviously, call me a shill for the newer run because I did get through the old run, but I'll be honest, for the life of me, it was years ago, and I can't fucking remember most of it. I do remember Tom Baker's Doctor, but I remember the first Doctor run because it was so bad, but you know, it was the time. It's so bad it's good. It's not like it's Star Trek bad.
Exactly. So like my favorite episode, I cannot for the life of me remember it, but my favorite episode is when the Dalek is on the pirate ship and he's just like drives off the plank. Literally just out of fucking nowhere. That's my favorite. Hi, bitchy. Happy birthday weekend. I hope that you're having an amazing time.
She says, "Oh yeah, this was a Family Guy skit. Horton Hears domestic violence." Yeah. Hi, Aaron. We are talking Nerdy Talk today. Our excitement for the 60th anniversary. So, yeah, let's just kick it off because we're doing this random. There's no script for this. We'll go with our favorite Doctor. So yours is if you had to pick a favorite Doctor, which one was?
I alternate between David Tennant as 10 and 11, Matt Smith, because I like the reason why I like Tennant's Doctor every time he plays the Doctor is because he's so fucking emotional. Like that's how I really the first Doctor was terrible. Yes, so and then I really like Matt Smith because I like Matt Smith with the pawns and how that his childish glee. You could just tell it's just one of those amazing those two.
Yeah, Matt Smith was a very whimsical kind of Doctor, but for me, because I said this at the top of the hour, you already know. David Tennant in general is one of my favorite actors.
Yes.
He has an Amazon Prime show called Good and Evil. It's one of my favorite Amazon Prime shows. He did one of my favorite villains. He was like what John Lithgow was to Dexter in Jessica Jones. He was Killjoy or Killswitch in the Jessica Jones first season. He was so good, nobody could fucking follow him up. He was just like the most epic villain ever. His arc of like basically he assaulted her because he used mind control. So like, and then he had this sick thing where he thought she loved him. Like just all of the narcissistic, and he was so fucking good at it. And then after seeing him as the Doctor, and then you see him take this dark role. Hey, Kay. So David Tennant, and maybe I got a bias, but it would be between him and Eccleston as my two favorite Doctors, but Tennant's definitely number one because I liked the first run because there's something about his acting, and I've seen him in other stuff, but Eccleston has this like when he does something fucked up, he's got this face where he really commits to it. Yeah. And my favorite one was his last episode where he had to choose between sacrificing one person or the rest of humanity. And then he realized he didn't have to sacrifice both when he was facing that big like Dalek thing at the end, the big brain thing or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah. And he's like, can you choose between one? And he goes, I don't have to choose between neither.
Right.
And he chose to sacrifice himself. That was like, and it led into the David Tennant run.
Yeah.
So it was just
Beautiful.
like, he was so fucking good. And plus, I was telling you before we started, my favorite episode was, I'd say out of Doctor Who in general, the new run, my favorite episode was the one with him and Rose, the Edge of the Earth, or
Yep.
the Edge of the Earth, where they saw Earth destroyed, and they do it every year, and then they go back, and the conversation they have when they just want to do something mundane, knowing like the whole episode is good, like knowing humanity is going to die no matter what he does. The end is still the same. And she realizes the end of humanity is inevitable.
Yes.
And then they go back and they're like, let's just enjoy something simple. And it was so powerful. And that's what I'm talking about with the writing when you talk about the new series versus the old one. Like, the special effects aren't that great still. They're better, but they're
Yeah.
not like award winning. But the writing was so fucking powerful that that you could tell they put a lot of like effort into it, and I think that's where the newer series failed.
Yeah.
Now, in the Jodie Whittaker run, I gotta be honest with you, I can't tell you a single episode I fucking liked, except for the one with Captain Jack Harkness, and that was only because Jason Bowerman came back to do
Yeah.
Captain Jack Harkness, like, and he made the episode better. And I think there was one other episode too, where they were in a mansion.
I saw some really cool clips about a Weeping Angel episode.
Yes, that's the one that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That one was probably the best in that run because we actually found out about the fucking characters and they had emotions and feelings. And really it was the characters they introduced. And this is what confused me. So Chibnall in this episode has like 8 people we got to get to know, right?
Yeah.
And he does a great job. And for 3 seasons, he can't do a good job with just fucking 4 people. I can't understand. Like, he gave us one good episode, and then it's just like back to sucky fucking Doctor Who episodes. I don't get it. So clearly he could write,
Right.
but or I think in that episode someone co-wrote too.
Yeah.
I forgot her name, but she co-wrote the episode. So I think that may have had something to do with it. But, like, yeah, I can't tell you. Chibnall has given us quite possibly the worst episodes in Doctor Who history. In its history. 60 fucking years, this man destroyed Doctor Who in 3 seasons. I don't get it. So, let's go to happier times. So, David Tennant is back.
I know. I'm so excited. I just want to watch the trailer again.
We might play the trailer one more time too before we go out because
now that we have people here.
Yeah, now that there's more people here, we could do we'll show the trailer one more time. Actually, we'll give our thoughts as it's playing so people can get a little, because I don't do like trailer breakdowns, but I guess this is an appropriate time to do it. Mainly because they're going to claim me. They probably already did. Which is fine because I'm not monetized, so fuck you, YouTube. If you monetize me, I would actually care. But
that's so cool, okay? Yeah.
You know,
so while you're pulling that up, my favorite episodes are probably The Silence in the Library, which is a Donna episode, and then the Sally Sparrow episode. I really like that one. And I'm so bummed that she never got to be a companion like she was supposed to be.
Oh yeah, she was good. I know there was like some behind the scenes stuff that happened was the reason why that never wound up happening. That's also why Eccleston's run was cut short. Him and Russell T Davies do not get along whatsoever. Right. I take it as he's very opinionated, and I think it was a case of the actor actually giving the director and writer a hard time.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Tennant versus him, like Tennant's a very, good method kind of actor, and Eccleston comes off as someone who likes to have control of his scenes and things. So I think that was just your typical, the actor doesn't agree with the producer or writer. They just can't see eye to eye, and it happens. That's typical Hollywood shit. Like,
yeah.
when you make a show.
My other favorite episode is Demon's Run. I fucking love that episode. I love that poem. I love Demon's Run. I look at my husband all the time and I'm like, you want to watch Demon's Run with me?
Yeah, yes, I agree. Those were pretty good. I do definitely I definitely like I pretty much like most of David Tennant. I like the one I was telling you about with the Edge of the World. That's one of my favorites. And then I like what was it? The Day of the Doctors.
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah, I love that episode as well, because there were so many of like the new doctors, the old doctors that came back. The threat was pretty good. It was a really good special. I really like that a lot. So let's jump into this, and we will hold on. There's the trailer. So I'll pause it a bit to talk about stuff.
Sometimes I think there's something missing. Like I had something lovely, and it's gone. I lie in bed thinking, what have I lost?
I've got this friend called Donna Noble.
I just want to point out too, I love how clean this looks. Like,
Yeah.
if you look at so all of the episodes, and this, I will give Chibnall credit here for one thing. In his era, even with the Jodie Whittaker era, especially the first trailer for her run, and then the first episode, which was probably the better one out of all of them. It looks very clean and very cinematic, and I like the idea, because Doctor Who, this is the 60th anniversary, so 60 fucking years. That's crazy for anything. And so I like the idea of them kind of modernizing it, and this feels to me like it could be in the theaters. Like,
yeah,
the cinematography, the way they shoot everything, it looks
she looks
very
fucking
nice.
fantastic. She hasn't even aged. Look at that hair. Oh my god, the colors, everything. I'm obsessed.
I was watching the Tennant run to get ready, because this comes out in November. So I've been going back through the Tennant run, and she has not fucking aged a day. I swear to God. I don't know, like,
God,
what this woman does, but she does not look like she got old at all.
Yeah, and she snaps right back into it. Like, there's no like weird like getting back. She's right there. Like, I was just like, ah.
And I love the range of emotions, like when she's saying, I could feel like there's something missing. It's just like, first her just like being this normal person again, because he took her memories, I forgot what episode it is, to save her life. He took the memories that she had of him and everything they went through. Yeah. So I like how she has like this empty feeling, like she knows stuff, and she snaps right back into it, like it's part of her. Like, she never left. Like,
it's so great. I love it. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. I can't wait. I'm glad they're not using Daleks again.
To save her life. If she remembers me, she will die. So what happens next?
And can I say, David Tennant too just snaps right back in the role. Yeah. Like, the thing he does with his eyes, the way he talks, his mannerisms, he has not skipped a beat. It's just like, yeah, let's do this.
hasn't aged a day.
Hasn't
still
aged
looking
a
like
day.
Fast Cars and Freedom.
Yeah, he still looks good.
In front of her, it's like she's drawing us in.
I love that. It's the cutest fucking. I want one of those.
Martian in the shade.
I love this part where he's like, "Oh, here we go again."
If destiny exists, then it is heading for Donna Noble. And I've got a memory.
This to me was the great. Wait, hold on.
After a very long time, something's coming.
Like, I love. You can
Love
tell.
it so much.
You can tell Neil Patrick Harris is getting so into this role. Like, I just love how he comes out with the cane and he starts dancing around in the wreckage. Like,
Like fucking Joker.
yes, to me this is like Neil Patrick Harris's Joker. Like, he is gonna crush this role. And he's supposed to be German, and I heard the voice, and it sounds good. Like, he said, I remember I was listening to a podcast, and he was talking about it, and he's like, I knew nothing about Doctor Who, so he was like, they're like, oh yeah, Doctor Who, and he's like, yeah, but who's Doctor Who? And then he goes, so he looked it up, and he goes, oh, the Doctor is the guy traveling, and Who is what we're wondering who he is. So I was like laughing, and he started catching up on the episodes. So he watched all of Tennant's run,
Yeah.
and where this character appeared, that whole run too. So I just Neil Patrick Harris, that's a consummate actor. I respect somebody who really dives into the role like that. And he's done weird shit like Lemony Snicket's
Yep.
Series of Unfortunate Events. He's pretty good at these kind of odd cameos.
Yep.
Who are they?
Monsters.
That thing is so goddamn adorable.
There's something so bad the TARDIS ran away.
Yes.
We go and kick its ass!
Kate Lethbridge Stewart. What do we do?
Yes, Kate's back. I'm so happy. Like,
Oh my God.
She looked like she's aged kind of a lot. Like,
Well, and it's funny because her father, I think it's her father or grandfather, I can't remember, is in the original series, and I think it's so cool because he was one of I can't speak for my husband, but he was one of my favorite characters, and so it's really cool to see her back for this anniversary specifically. I don't know, it's just really because I think he actually just passed away recently. The actor that played her dad,
which
So I think that's
which I find cool because these specials have always been about like celebrating the history of Doctor Who. And I think this is a good segue into introducing us to the new Doctor. And Russell T Davies is seeing what his writing's going to be like because he's always been a strong writer. So I think this will be a good indication to fans, like, well, anyone who's a fan of that era will automatically, like, he's a great writer. So I have no doubt he's going to right the ship and definitely, like, start steering into some good storylines. Lemon Pie says, so this is a special one-time episode. No, it is, but it's 3. It's like an event. They do these every year, and they're like 3-part events or 2-part events, like a Christmas special and things like that. They always have like a Christmas, a New Year's Eve anniversary, and this is the big one. This is the 60th anniversary. So there might be other Doctors in here too. They're just not showing us because it's 3 parts.
Yeah,
I gotta imagine they're gonna put other Doctors in here.
Yeah, they've got to, because Kunigawa was actually not available yet when he was cast as the 15th Doctor. Well, he was originally announced as the 14th Doctor, but he was not available yet because he was, I think, finishing sex ed, or he had
Sex Education just came out with its 3rd season just now, which we've been going back through so we could watch. It's his final season, so he wanted to finish that because he's been on that show forever. And so I'm really happy about that. And if you guys haven't gone watch Netflix's Sex Education. It is like a great show. Lots of sex, but it's got a really funny ass premise. It's a good show, and you get a taste of his acting. He is so good in that show. When he got announced, I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
when he was
finally,
first announced, I was like, I have no idea who this is. And so I looked into him because I was like, who is this person? And so then I was like, what the heck? And I, like I said earlier at the top of the show, I am very impressed and I'm very glad. And I think that he's going to steer the Who boat in the right direction.
I gotta be honest, I'm actually hoping he has a run like Tennant or
Yeah.
Matt Smith or the rest of them, like 3 seasons, and then the transition to another Doctor, because I can honestly see him. He's been in 3 seasons of Sex Education, and I could see him doing, because Doctor Who is only 8 episodes, if you guys don't know. So like, or it might be 10. I can't remember if they upped or low. Yeah, he. I think it's 10. I think he would definitely bring charisma, and I'm just like hyped up about it. He could be totally bad, but I don't think so. Like, if he has good writing behind him, like he did in Sex Ed,
Oh yeah,
which he will with Russell T Davies,
absolutely.
I think he'll be fine. I think Russell T Davies is one who works a lot with his actors, and I've seen a lot of interviews with David Tennant and talking about it, and he collaborated a lot of things. So I think this is a perfect fit, as long as they don't put politics in it. I think,
Yeah.
I think it will be good.
Honestly, with the way that they're framing his character, just by the little bit that I've seen in the research, there's no way that they could possibly put politics in it. Because if they did, they would derail the entire thing worse than they already have. But
I mean, it is the BBC. I think a lot, and I don't want to give Chibnall any credit, but I do think there were some things BBC themselves mandated. But now BBC is in a hole, and they needed, of all people, Disney to bail them out.
Yep.
So it's going to be, which I found out, by the way, the new episodes will be on HBO Max here.
HBO Max, I thought it was going to be on Disney Plus.
I have to look that up for sure.
Because I saw that it was going to be on Disney Plus, because they were going to keep everything on Max, all the old stuff, and then it was all going to be like a clean slate on Disney. But they could have changed it too.
You're gonna what? Okay, I'm going to put my head in a deep fryer. She wants to watch Unicorn Store, and it's her birthday weekend. I can't say no, so I'm gonna shove a pencil in my eye after this stream.
Yeah, and soon anyway, because I got to go to bed soon anyway.
Okay.
How do we fight the human race?
Something entered this world.
Oh, but he is recognizing me.
Who is he?
The one who waits.
Open fire!
Why does it have to be this?
I love that. The classic. Why?
Well, there was a theory. There was a theory floating around on Twitter that was talking about that clip specifically. Why does it have to be this? And that the Celestial, one of the powers of the Celestial Toymaker was that he could make you relive terrible memories or something. So if that is true, and him saying, why does it have to be this, makes fucking sense because of the whole Donna situation. Obviously, that's probably one of the, if not the most painful experiences of his fucking life, to lose his best friend in such a way.
Oh yeah. I mean, not to mention too, if I remember correctly, he lost Rose in a series too, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, the Celestial Toymaker can really pick a couple different things, because there were a lot of things, even cold-heartedly. I remember him doing some fucked up shit in some episodes. It was for the greater good.
Right.
But he sacrificed people, planets.
That's what I was telling you earlier when we were chatting. I was like, it makes sense that, because a lot of people were like, because I didn't realize that the Celestial Toymaker was somebody from like a past episode. I had no idea. And so like for me, when I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh, because everybody's like, why would they bring him back now? And you think about it, like, look at all the mental freaking trauma that this doctor has gone through. Like, not just David Tennant, but the doctor in general. Like, he has seen so much pain. He's seen so much loss. He is probably fraying at the ends of insanity because of all the shit that he's been through, especially if you go back before the Timeless Child, and they were talking about he was only supposed to have 12 incarnations or whatever. Yeah. And so now he's at 14 because David Tennant's coming back, but he's not coming back as 10. He's coming back as 14. So he's going to have a lot of similarities with 10, but he's going to be different in his own right as well. So it's like, could you imagine, between the crazy shit that went down with the ponds, between the whole river shit, between like losing Rose the way he lost Rose, between like, you know, the Dr. Donna situation, like this person, how are they still functioning? Like,
Because and I draw a lot of this from Torchwood too. In Torchwood, Jack Harkness makes a reference to how every time he regenerates, it feels like his body's being ripped apart and his cells
yeah,
are being reformed. And he doesn't have the powers of the Doctor, like
yeah,
to reincarnate. He just regenerates from anything. He can't die because nothing can kill him. But I mean, if you look at his trauma, because of all the times he dies and every time he feels all the pain and
yeah,
it hurts when he comes back. Now just times that by 10, living multiple lives and being
yep,
your like cells being ripped apart and becoming essentially a new person. Whereas like Captain Jack Harkness is still the same person.
yeah.
He just
Imagine.
his body's just all, God knows what his body's like. He's fell off of buildings, been shot in the head multiple times. Like like he's all fucked up. But he even he even said that there was an episode where he was talking about the Doctor, because I was rewatching Torchwood, and he was like, I can only imagine living multiple times, multiple
Yep,
generations, and he goes, he carries a burden that no man can understand.
yeah,
And like when you look at Harkness pass, because he doesn't die from old age, he's lived multiple years and lifetimes too. So that's why him and the Doctor get along so well, because
yeah.
they both are undying individuals, and that's him living as himself continuously throughout history. The
Yep,
Doctor comes back as different people and retains everything from essentially different doctors every time.
yep,
So multiple lives, multiple losses, multiple tragedies. Plus, he has to die essentially at the end of the run. That's
yeah,
the whole point of the regeneration. So
right.
the Doctor doesn't ever last. So it's like, yeah, that's like, dude. And I'm wondering if, because he reverted to David Tennant, that brought Neil Patrick Harris's character, the Celestial Toymaker, because there's got to be some reason, like,
Yeah,
the Doctor never goes back to another one. Even though they're calling them the 14th, he's still retaining the 10th's memory. So
yeah,
the threat must be something that only the 10th Doctor knows about. And that's why he was reincarnated as a. That's the
yeah,
theory I have.
yeah. Which, I mean, to be honest, if they don't put River in this shit, I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm gonna be so pissed because do you remember in the Silence in the Library when she saw his face, she recognized his face. She fucking knew his face. And if I will be so disappointed in RTD if he does not bring that shit up, because she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're the youngest I've ever seen you." But she knew that face. She knew it was him right off the bat, regardless. Whereas with Capaldi, she didn't know, obviously. We know why. But like, so I'm gonna be so disappointed if RTD does not bring her back and explain that shit, because I want to fucking know.
Well, this is the great thing too about him returning, is that he can address a lot of stuff in the other storylines that other directors just kind of like, they do their own thing. So sometimes they'll bring back a story thread from other directors, but most of the times they'll go in other directions. So uh, it would be cool for him to see if he continues other stories he wanted to
Mm-hmm.
do, and he just didn't have enough like time to get them all done.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but there's the emotion again.
I don't know if I can save your life this time.
What is it?
You can.
Worldwide premiere.
And now I want to talk about this part.
It's
So
fucking beautiful.
I'm thinking, uh, this is the ending. This is like probably part 3.
Yep.
And he's going to reincarnate as him. So I'm
Yep.
thinking when this was filmed, maybe he was able to make it, because this is just coming out now. They did the filming for the last part recently, so
Yeah.
and I know Sex Education is already out, which means it must have wrapped up with time. So I think he's gonna come at the very end of this whole arc,
He has
and
to.
yeah, and regenerate into the next one. And I just gotta say, he looks like a doctor. Like,
He
look at
does.
that.
He's fucking gorgeous. Like, look at the face frame. Look at the face expression. Like, I can't literally when Zod, when I saw this for the first time, when I tell you I squealed so fucking loud. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Like, yeah, he's got like the perfect facial structure and like his mannerisms and stuff. Because
Mhm.
when Jodie Foster came on, she had that
Jodie Whittaker.
fucking stupid look that she has for the rest of the series. That like that. That's
Yeah.
how I could explain it. It was like the worst introduction, and then like her trailer was okay. I liked it. It intrigued me when she's
Mhm.
like walking through the forest and everything. I was like, oh, okay, this could go well. And then the series happened, and it did not go well, not at all. So, like, yeah, there's a trailer for everyone who missed it. I am super stoked. So, let's do what nerds do.
Nerd
Which
out.
is let's do some predictions. What we're hoping to see. First, let's talk about the special in general, and then we'll talk about the 15th Doctor, what we hope to see in their season. But go into the special. Neil Patrick Harris, I want to see him kill some people. I'm sorry, I'm General Zod. As you guys can see, I have my Zod Funko Pop.
NPH is
Uh,
perfect.
I want to like call me nihilistic or anything. I got my Twisted Metal Sweet Tooth shirt on. Call me nihilistic. I think that if you want to make an impact, he needs to kill someone. Now, I'm not saying he's got to kill Donna. I'm
Right.
thinking she's gonna die. I'm gonna be completely honest
Yeah.
because of the scene we saw, where he's
Have
like,
we met RTD? Have we met him? He don't give a shit about our feelings.
no, he has killed people pretty like surprising. Like he's like a Game of Thrones writer.
Yes.
Like especially with the death with the Rose death, I was like, that was completely fucking left field. I did
Yeah.
not see it
Out
come
of
in.
fucking nowhere.
And I was like, holy shit, like this guy is serious. Like, so I would like to see at least like maybe, you know, Donna's parents or whoever die, maybe that cute little thing, even though I like that alien. Like,
Yeah.
NPH has got to make an impact. And if you like, so far, he's pretty imposing from those scenes. But if you want to make an impact, you got to come on the scene. Like, he's got to kill someone right away we get attached
Yeah.
to. So you know he is not the typical Who villain. Like,
I'm
he has come to annihilate everyone.
I'm worried that if he doesn't kill Donna, he's gonna kill her daughter.
I could totally see that happening.
Yeah.
Like, I could see a plot twist where we're all thinking, because I know everyone right now is thinking, oh, Donna's dead. Like, just for, and the way that he's setting it up, when he's like, oh, I can't guarantee I can protect you this time. Like, he's setting up very like, oh yeah, we're gonna kill Donna, but I think there's
Yeah.
gonna be a left turn somewhere, and he's gonna wind up killing someone else we like. I know he's definitely gonna wipe out Kate because of that
Yeah.
scene with Neil Patrick Harrison where he's like, your fight is with me, and he had that big fucking blaster Gatling gun. So he's gonna wipe them out.
Yeah.
I
for
have
sure.
no doubt.
Unit is done.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to go after Unit, which is ballsy. And there was that scene too where that thing was going into the ground and like it was spreading around. So like, what do we think that is? Is he harvesting something from Earth? Like,
I don't know. Well, the other thing too. Well, there was that one where he had the marionettes. So I wonder if it was the marionettes and it wasn't an actual creature. Because you remember there's that one like where that one shot of him. He's above the city and he's got the marionettes and he's like looking down. So I'm wondering if that's the strings, because the other thing I was reading about the Celestial Toy Maker, I don't know if this is true. This is just what I read, that he's banished somewhere, like you said, and so somehow the reason why potentially Tennant came back is because the Doctor's fucking stuck, and Cootie Gatwa's Doctor can't like come through, and so he had to revert back to whatever strongest or whatever. Like, so I'm wondering if that's like the marionettes, and maybe he's like just in control of this dimension and it's not actual real life. Like, literally, could you imagine if they go through this 3-part series and then the Doctor regenerates and he wakes up and nothing happened and Donna's fine, still doesn't remember anything? Could you fucking imagine?
That I'm not gonna lie, that would definitely be a ballsy play on their part. I don't know how I'd feel about it, but
Yeah.
I think that would definitely be one way to do it. And like looking up here, like the Celestial Toymaker is a pull from like the first Doctor's run, so holy shit.
Is it one of the missing episodes? Because I don't remember watching anything about the Celestial Toymaker in the first Doctor's run.
Let me see. See if I can pull up more. The Celestial Toymaker. Let's see. Yeah, is mostly missing 7th serial of the 3rd season in the show. So yeah, it's a missing episode. It was only the last episode of this story. The final test is held in the BBC archives. The 3 remaining missing episodes. So it was a 3 missing episode arc, which I think is cool.
Fucking weird.
I think at this point they needed a ballsy play, and pulling out a villain that never got aired for these 60 years.
For a 3-part, and there's missing 3 parts.
Yeah,
and the line from David Tennant was, "I have a memory that's trying to surface." Bitch, RTD, I see you. I see you and all your little dots.
So I think it's a callback, and that's the thing that I like. Why I am very confident in Russell T Davies's run is because he pays a lot of homage to like the really old series. You could tell he's a fan of Doctor Who. He knows how to write episodes. I think it's a cool deep cut to like, and then cast Neil Patrick Harris. And I saw the design of the first guy, and I gotta say I like Neil's look a lot better.
Yeah.
That was so like according to what I read in the final test, he was banished by the first Doctor in a dimension where he's kind of like, it's kind of like what Doctor Strange did. Ooh, it could be a Marvel connection there. What Doctor Strange did to that big creature in the first movie where he trapped it in a never-ending loop.
Yeah.
That's basically what the Doctor did, because the Celestial Toymaker is fucking powerful. So that's very interesting, because in Doctor Who lore, the most powerful villain he's come across, besides, you know, the Dalek and the robot men and all that, the most powerful villain apparently is this and he's a Celestial. Kind of like, if you guys don't know, the Time Lords are also celestial beings. So this is like basically gods fighting each other on our Earth. That's going to be some shit. Like,
badass is what that is. Anyway.
That is. So, and another wrinkle that you haven't talked about, the little aliens. Like, what are those cute? I think I've seen them before too. Those cute little fuzzy alien things.
Yeah, that was an old Who creature too.
Yeah, so it makes sense that they bring them as the hook, talking about the Toymaker. I want to say maybe that was their planet got like whatever from the Celestial Toymaker, whatever they made marionettes or whatever the fucked up shit he's doing. Maybe that connects to those creatures.
Beep originated as a comic strip character in the pages of Doctor Who magazine and later appeared in audio dramas produced by Big Finish. I need to get into Big Finish because I hear so many good things about Big Finish, And I know that Eggleston is all over Big Finish still.
Yeah, and I've heard that they've also added a lot of depth to different doctors
Mm-hmm.
through the audiobooks. Work on Jodie Whittaker's character. You could do a lot with that.
Yeah.
Like you could maybe fix a lot of shit they fucked up. But
Right. Anyway.
so here's the other big question too. I'm wondering, is Russell T Davies going to retcon everything from the Timeless Child and pretend it hasn't happened, or do you think he's going to try to weave in his own story and fix what they've done? Because
I
the
think no, go ahead.
that really messes up a lot of stuff in the timeline.
I think that if he's going to address it, it's not going to be in this 3-part series. I think it'll be later on in his reign, because he probably wants to get as far the fuck away from it as possible at the moment, and he wants to focus on this bridge between 13 and 15. So that's his focus right now, is to bring it all together, and then once Kudigatra is like secure in the position, I think that's when he's going to start taking risks, because I don't foresee him taking a lot of risks with 15. I see any risk he's going to take, it's going to be with Tennant, because of the way that they work together and that they know each other. And I feel like, in my opinion, if I was a writer on a show, I would want to know the actors a little bit more before I start, because if I'm going to take risks, they need to be able to carry that risk. And I'm not saying Cootie can't, because I'm pretty sure he can. But I think it's going to be, he has to be very careful. I don't think he's going to ignore it, but I also don't think he's going to change it. I think he's going to make it work within.
Which is a tall order, because if
Yeah.
you think about the premise that Chibnall laid down, this splits the Doctor's lineage into two very different directions. You have the one where the first Doctor was always the first Doctor. He's the incarnation. He stole a TARDIS and went on adventures. And then you have this other fucking stupid ass dumb fucking storyline. If you guys can tell, I hated Timeless Child. Where now it was a reincarnated child. It was Jodie Whittaker, because she's the savior of everything. And then you have this child her abilities were stolen by the Time Lords, which you could work it into the story, because you could say then that what we thought was the first Doctor was only a Time Lord with the power that was already stolen, and that wouldn't really affect the first Doctor's legacy.
Right.
But it's a hard sell, because it messes up everything we've known, and it's like, it gave backstory when you really didn't need it. Like, the best part of the Doctor is getting little bits, but not knowing everything. And as far as we knew, he was just a rogue Time Lord who wanted to make things right and try to save humanity. And that's what he's been doing for the past fucking 60 years. And I don't need to know what his favorite coffee is.
I don't need to know his real name, even though I want to know it.
I don't need his real name. I don't need to know where he was born and what his childhood was like and why he went rogue. Like, I just want fun adventures. And now here's the other thing. Chibnall's stink is on everything. He's done an episode with the Daleks. I gotta be honest with you, I really want them to stop doing stuff with Daleks. Like,
yeah, the Daleks, they need a break. They've tired.
They've gone to that well. And the Cybermen. Like, that's the two, when a writer doesn't know what to do and they're all out of ideas, they go to the Daleks, and he fucked those up too. When he had a good concept with Cybermen being like a human and a Cyberman, and then, like, did nothing with it. Like, that was such a good premise. Like, okay, how would a Cyberman feel with mixing itself, because their whole thing is organic life is flawed, they want to destroy it. So that would have been cool to explore a Cyberman that was organic.
I think RTD is going to pick that up. Because that is cool.
And that's a good storyline. I think you could do a lot with it, but Chibnall's a fucking idiot and can't write. Yeah. So he stole all of his best episodes. If you look, he stole from other better written episodes. He stole from the Capaldi era. He stole from Tennant a lot. He stole a couple of ideas from that era. So like all of his good episodes came from other people who wrote it better.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be very interested to see a competent writer laying down new stuff. Like
Yeah.
so here's what I wanted to ask before we go in this new series. What we're hoping to see, I would like to. Honestly, I like them bringing the Celestial Toy Maker because I would like them to get away from all of the common villains we always see, right? Who always returns? The Master always returns.
The Daleks,
Like,
Cybermen, the Ottomans,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want them to set up a new threat that's just as imposing as those, but something we haven't seen before. Like, what would you think would be something they could go to?
I will be honest with you. I know that they just did it in 13, but I really, really like the Weeping Angels. I feel like they probably can't do anything. Like I said, I haven't seen the full episode. They probably can't do anything with the Weeping Angels, but I really enjoyed them. I would also really like to see some of classic Who creatures that need like a facelift.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Yes,
Like that.
What was it? It was the lizard people.
Oh yeah.
We need to revisit that because it's been years since they had that little piece and they all went back underground. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I would like to see them revisit that, which I know that's pretty recent. So I would understand why they wouldn't. But there was I want to see more Time Lords. That's what I really want to see. I want to see more Time Lords because I love some of my favorite episodes happen on Gallifrey.
Yeah, and here's the thing too that would need to be addressed. Gallifrey supposedly is destroyed now. Although to be fair, like we've seen it destroyed twice before,
Yeah.
but this last iteration it was really destroyed. Like it
When
was vaporized.
With Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah, like they used
I
thing
yeah.
to vaporize it. But to be honest with you, I'd like a Superman. Yes, I'm drawing from my General Zod inspiration.
Yeah.
I'd like a Superman kind of thing where you have Time Lords that weren't on Gallifrey because we know they travel.
They're
so
supposed
it would be so it would be interesting to see now Time Lords that don't have a home that are just roaming through time because their main home is destroyed. Like make a General Zod Time Lord. That would be fucking awesome. Like a militaristic general guy who comes and starts shit.
Hi, bitchy.
She said, "Hi, bitchy." Honey, I'm talking Doctor Who, woman. I can't keep my excitement down. It's exciting times.
I can let you go so you could go watch your show.
Oh my! No, you can't possibly drink all that. You'd be peeing all night.
The other thing too, I really want the Pawns to come back, and here's why. So far, the Pawns haven't returned. Every other companion has returned at least once.
That's a good point, and I think that would be some interesting episodes.
Especially since they got sent back in time to that weird time because of that Weeping Angel, like, and they lived a whole nother new life. Like, I need it. Or like even just like little clues that because you know they're gonna be leaving shit for the Doctor to figure out. Like, it's Amy and Rory.
And I'm just gonna say it. There is some stuff in Chibnall's era that was interesting that I would like to see Russell Davies do better. Like Spyfall had the spiders. I thought that was a very cool concept, but I would like to see Russell T Davies write that instead of Chibnall and get rid of the stupid President Trump allegory and the guns and nonviolent bullshit. I would like to see like other episodes with these creatures because the episode had a good premise of like, okay, the Doctor's non-violent. These creatures are just acting on instinct, so they're not really evil. So I'd like to see a situation where, like, okay, how does this Doctor deal with a whole new race of beings or creatures and give them their own space, but without endangering humanity? Like, I like episodes like that, like spiders or snakes or something cool like that, where it's like it's in their nature to hunt and eat people, make it like a giant race or something, and then be
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I got to put them on another planet or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
is RTV the one that's good at historical episodes or no?
yes,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm gonna use that. Yeah, he was the one who did the. I think he did the first one with the Weeping Age, or he did. Didn't he do one with? Yeah, I want to say he did a Victorian episode too.
Yeah, like I want like another historical episode, because I'll tell you, the Van Gogh episode, oh, that's probably my favorite.
Oh, it was, yes, that was,
That
oh my
was
God, it was so
good.
brilliant.
I cried so hard. Hi, Generation Productions. Okay, we gotta shut this down. You got a show to watch. I got a bed to get to. So we need to do this again. Can we nerd out again? Like,
So, November is going to be the new episodes of Doctor Who. I think we should do a thing for each part where we sit down and watch it, and then we'll give our review, and we'll talk about where we think it's going, how the episodes were.
yeah,
We got 3 parts, and then maybe we could come back and review the new season with the 15th Doctor, because I will with Russell T Davies. I will be tuning in. I will watch every episode, and I like to see where they go from here. I'm super excited. I think this was a smart move. This is the smartest thing BBC has ever done.
ever.
Like, I think they knew they were in deep shit, and they got the person who could dig them out of the hole. Like, if you guys don't know, this ad's an extraordinary writer. No, I'm good. But honey, I'm almost done. I'm good. Anyway, so
Right. Everyone, love you. Thanks for tuning in on our nerdy little thing. Toymaker is going to change everything. Yes. Ooh, that's a good point, Zod. Final thought before we leave. Toymaker is going to change everything. If anybody can fix the Timeless Child, it's going to be the Toymaker arc. Telling you.
I would love it if this turns into like a DC Flashpoint and they just erase the previous shit that happened. Like, the Toymaker rearranges everything, and Jodie Whittaker's run never happened. That would be great. Just reset it and start from brand new. It'd be like series 1 all over again. I think that'd be good. But yes, but yeah, don't worry, GP. We'll be talking about this again. Thank you, everybody. Tune in to see us. We will be doing another stream one day. We're working on it. I didn't even do my late night talks because I had some stuff going on. So, anyways, thank you everybody for watching. Click that like, share, subscribe. Go subscribe to Jay. Go check out the new podcast, In the Shadows. There's a special guest. He's really awesome. And we will see you guys when Doctor Who returns November 2023. This year. We only got a couple months to wait. Woo!
All right, bye. Have fun with Bitchy.